what these guys would be doing with my money, why can't I do the same thing with my own money? I would be more responsible. I would be more cautious. They want to acquire us. We ignored their email 3 times. It was the fourth email when we said, okay, let's explore what these guys are saying. We were like, what? Do we value that much? If I can afford 6 months bench salary, then only I am going to hire someone. तो एक बहुत ही बढ़िया मुझे लाइन लगती है, एक संत ने बोली थी, धन लक्ष्मी तो पापी के भी हो। अगर पैसा ही कमाना है तो बिजनेस इज वन ऑफ द ऑप्शन। यू थाउजेंड ऑप्शन। बिजनेस करना है, पैसा वुड बी वन ऑफ द आउटकम्स। मैंने खुद को समय नहीं, हेल्थ को कभी सीरियस नहीं किया, एंड आई हैड टू पे अ प्राइस। 1 year earlier, my allocation was 99% into fixed deposits, 1% into money.
Wow. So if I say if someone want to start today, what minimum validation they should look forward to before they begin the journey?
Their gut feeling, their confidence. See, I see that entrepreneurs don't work out of validations. If it is pre-validated, it's a sure shot. It's no longer an entrepreneurship.
What about a journey where we have seen that yes, one market, one type of product, it's working. Then comes the second one with more surety. It's about a late mover's advantage.
What I meant was, a true entrepreneur does not look for validation. He goes with a confidence that yes, I can add value. Yes, I may be a Me Too, but why Me Too would certainly work because the current infrastructure is not meeting the demand, right? Or something is there
Where I can add value to the
add value, and then he validates his assumptions, his confidence post execution. So maybe 3 years down the line, or 2 years, or 1 year, depending on what kind of complex project he's taking up, he would validate whether my assumptions were correct or not. On day one, if he knows I do A, B, C, and it's a short, win, then why he has to do it? He has to just outsource it.
Outsource it. Yeah.
He's doing it because he thinks nobody else can do it.
The break even is quite an interesting thing, even in a service industry. When you get into office, when you get into the air conditioning, you bring the laptops, then you need to provide some other services, and you feel like I started nice, but then the break even thing is moving away from me. So how you sorted those things?
So definitely, each step, each day was challenging, right? It's not like every morning I walk in and I knew what's going to happen today, and I will be fine. So it's like a treadmill. You are on a treadmill. The day you stop, you will fall down, right? You have to constantly run it. So there were challenges, and the good part was because of my education, because of our middle class background, because everything was kind of self build mode. So I never took those challenges as really challenges. I took that's the need of the hour to make it happen. And I saw everything as an unknown variable which I need to just solve based on whatever assumptions I'm taking. That if I do address this particular situation in this manner, it will be resolved. That's how I acted. I'm not saying every action was a success. Yes, I made mistakes. My assumptions, my actions did not result the way I anticipated. But that was just a way of resolving it. I changed my approach, attempt to make it correct. It worked. Sometime it didn't work. I had to probably change to right number 3. So what I'm trying to convey, any entrepreneur or any person who is on the journey of building a company must be mentally ready to accept or face the unknown. It's it's the default day for any entrepreneur. If you're expecting that exactly 10 a.m. I will reach office, exactly 10:30 I will do this, 11:30 this, 12:30 lunch, 5:30 pack, and go back to home, then you are an employee.
I heard, I forgot who said this. If you do your job as a business and do your business as a job. If I may ask you, Pushpendra, how much capital you had to start with? I know it is service, so most probably maybe low or high. And how long it took you guys to really reach the break even?
So I would say we were very sensitive, as I mentioned earlier. We were very sensitive towards capital.
Mhm.
We never had a single day where my expenses were more and my revenue was less. So
Interesting.
I never hired an office boy for the sake of, for that purpose. I hired when I knew that I can, if even if there is no work tomorrow, I can pay these employees for next 6 months. With that mindset, I hired people, at least initial 25 or 30.
Mhm.
I promised myself, if I'm bringing somebody in the company, I'm not giving them a brand. I'm not giving them a lot of money, right? What I'm trying to do is giving them a job with a decent salary. If I don't have my projects anymore going on, I may not be able to pay them. I'm not a rich man, by the way. So I can't pay them from my bank, right? So it would be very unfortunate that I tell them, hey, we have no money. You have to go. At that point, my fundamental approach was I will hire anyone if I can afford 6 months bench salary for that individual. That much cash I must have reserved. Then only I am going to hire. And I promise myself, if someday this individual, literally there is no project and we have to shut down, I'm going to tell this individual, don't worry, search for a job and I will pay you for next 6 months, right? And I would hope that that's your duty to find a job in 6 months.
This at any point of time became a challenge for you to get more and more work from multiple customers because and now I map it to the IT service industry normally, and the objective of them having the bench is to showcase to their customers that, hey, listen, enough with me, different type of skill set is enough with me, and I can grow multi fast. Give me the project and I have the people. You ever faced the situation, the problem, the challenge?
So, so good point. So it's like, Archit, we, though we are into the IT service, but these IT services were highly specialized services.
Yeah.
Our one consultant is probably equivalent to 40 odd support staff being provided by a large IT
I
company.
do.
So when we walk in, our rates are probably 3 times what these big IT companies are charging for their support
Mhm.
at the same level of experience. Whenever there is a project, we were being onboarded as an specialized SMEs in this space. We were never onboarded from the perspective that they are the body shops. They can provide many resources for a small period or a long period. And this is what I'm referring to the initial stages of the company, initial 6, 7 years.
Mhm.
Later on, when we were 100 plus or 80 plus people, yes, then there were many projects which came for the purpose of many resource required. We had projects where with one single project, there were 30 odd people over for different uh,
Skill
tracks.
set.
Yeah. So body. So during the initial phases, as I said, we were not being hired as a body providers. We were not that big. We didn't have the work. We had not, convinced or won the heart of the clients. We were doing the deliveries. We were being called for specific problems, and slowly, we got the trust. And these big pharma companies started trusting, hey, these guys can really deliver what we expect them to do.
Not having many salespeople, not having any salesperson, and you got majority of time, word of mouth. So how you got those insight? Because word of mouth comes in when you're doing better and better and value add to value add for the customer. So how you used to get the insight from the customers? Is there any process or a framework that you have applied so that you can keep getting the real time or any time of feedback from the customers on where to improve?
Oh, yeah. So feedback from the customers, yeah, these were real time. And more, I would say our customers were onboarding us because they didn't know what they should do. So they were onboarding us as trusted consulting partners who would come on board, let them know what they need in their organization to meet XYZ requirement, how they should change their process in order to be compliant with XYZ things. So that's called the consulting now, right? Now, once we have provided, and we did a pretty good job in doing so. Now, when the consulting is done, there is a phase two, which is implementation, right? We started with consulting services, then we started offering the delivery services, and they started picking us for getting those deliveries. Now, they won't pick us if they have not satisfied on the phase.
Hmm.
Now we implement, deliver. Now it's come the phase three, the post delivery results. Results were working in their favor. They found it good. They found it timely. They found it a right advice and the right way of execution. They shared their learning and experience with their other peers in the same industry, other companies. There are enough forums where these pharma companies to meet.
Absolutely, yeah. But how you ensure that from consulting to implementation? We have seen how it happens in any of the service organization, and the implementation team always keep blaming the consulting arm that hey, they over promised always and we can't deliver within the timeline. So how, and you were delivering on time again and again, and understanding your the way you were talking about your team, I'm sure you're not the one who's just behind the team to get delivered. You really take care of the employees well. So how you ensure that these two arms are really talking to each other well, and no one is overselling and no one is less delivering,
Because both arms are same people.
and that partner is sufficiently skilled techno-functional guy who can really understand in how much time things can actually be delivered.
Oh yeah, that's where our strength lied. We were the doers. We were not the talkers. We hired one salesman, but it didn't work for us because we want to sell from the perspective how it will be implemented. That's where our talking and doing were matching, and it did work for us.
एक बहुत अच्छा आजकल और आजकल नहीं, काफी समय से एक थीम चल रहा है दैट यार सुनो, बाकियों को देखो, पढ़ाई की जरूरत नहीं है, जॉब छोड़ो, बिजनेस स्टार्ट करते हैं, पैसा कमाते हैं एंड अमीर बनते हैं. व्हाट्स यू व्यू इन दैट?
अगर बिजनेस इसलिए स्टार्ट करना है कि पैसा कमाना है, तो एक बहुत ही बढ़िया मुझे लाइन लगती है, एक संत ने बोली थी, धन लक्ष्मी तो पापी के भी होए. अगर पैसा ही कमाना है तो बिजनेस इज वन ऑफ द ऑप्शन. यू हैव थाउजेंड ऑप्शन. बिजनेस करना है, पैसा वुड बी वन ऑफ द आउटकम्स, डिफॉल्ट आउटकम. बट बिजनेस करने के लिए रीजन पैसा कमाना नहीं होना चाहिए मेरे ओपिनियन से। बिजनेस करने का रीजन ये होना चाहिए, देयर इज समथिंग आई कैन डू बेटर देन व्हाट अदर्स आर डूइंग, आई कैन ऐड वैल्यू, और उस ऐड वैल्यू में एक रोटेशन, क्योंकि जब आप एक चीज ऐड करोगे मार्केट में, वो डिफॉल्ट ऑप्शन बन जाएगा और प्लेयर्स भी आएंगे, यू हैव टू कीप एडिंग मोर वैल्यू, तो देयर इज अ चांस, देयर इज अ साइकिल। वो रेस अगर आपको अच्छा लगता है, देन डू बिजनेस।
बट जरूरी नहीं है पुष्पेंद्र की। प्रॉब्लम क्या आती है, मुझे पता ही नहीं कि मार्केट में कौन सी वैल्यू एड नहीं हो रही है। एक एरिया है जो मुझे पसंद आया, ये मेरा पैशनेट एरिया है। एंड फॉर एन एग्जांपल, अगर मैं एक एग्जांपल लूँ तो मैं एक टेक्नोलॉजी में एक्सपर्ट हूँ। मुझे पता है टेक्नोलॉजी में सब कुछ कैसे करना चाहिए। आई कैन गो एंड आई हैव स्किल ऑफ हायरिंग पीपल ऑल्सो, एंड आई हैव नेटवर्क ऑल्सो। तो एक्चुअली देखा जाए तो मैं ये नहीं देख रहा कि भाई इन्फोसिस कौन सा सर्विस प्रोवाइडिंग कर रहा है, विप्रो कौन सी कर रहा है, फॉर दैट मैटर एनीवन अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड क्या कर रहा है। तो मैंने तो स्टार्ट कर दिया बिकॉज मेरे को टेक्नोलॉजी पसंद है। इसमें मैं अगर देखूं तो वैल्यू एड मैंने सोचा ही नहीं। मैं सोचा, मतलब वैल्यू एड अगर मैं देखूं तो आज के टाइम पे मैं किसी कंपनी में जॉब करके भी वो वैल्यू प्रोवाइड कर सकता हूँ, और मैं वो ही अपने आप क्रिएट कर खड़े होकर भी वैल्यू प्रोवाइड कर सकता हूँ। तो इस is value add always so critical, or it is slightly hyped as well?
वैल्यू एड की डेफिनेशन पे हम लोग अलाइन हो जाते हैं पहले।
हाँ,
तो वैल्यू एड यूनिवर्सल वर्ड नहीं है मेरी नजर में। वैल्यू एड मेरा, आई माई सेल्फ हैज माई ओन यूनिवर्स। आई डोंट नो व्हाट Infosys is doing, what Wipro is doing, I cannot know any everything।
हम्म,
मैं जिस सिचुएशन में खड़ा हूं, मैं जो कर रहा हूं, वहां मुझे कुछ मिसिंग दिख रहा है। मुझे लग रहा है जितना भी मेरा 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 नोन नॉलेज है, हो सकता है उसके बियॉन्ड वो चीज ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्ट करती हो जो मुझे नहीं पता है। दैट्स ओके। बट जितना मुझे पता है, जितना मैंने गूगल किया, मैंने उसके बारे में रिसर्च किया, मैं अभी भी कन्विंस्ड हूँ कि यार ये चीज ऐसे हो सकती है, तो ज्यादा वैल्यू क्रिएट करेगा।
और अगर मैं इसको ऐसे देखूं कि देखो, मेरे पास टेक्नोलॉजी में बंदा हायर कर सकता हूँ और मैं भी खुद कर सकता हूँ, इससे डिफरेंस बस एक इतना आएगा कि आज के टाइम पे मेरे को मेरी कंपनी दे रही 50 लाख, कल मैं खुद कमा सकूंगा 1.5 करोड़।
ये
विल
कैसे?
इट नॉट बी अ वैल्यू प्रपोज गुड वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन फॉर मी टू स्टार्ट अ बिजनेस?
हाँ बिल्कुल।
ये
लेकिन
ऐसे आया, इसका नंबर अगर रैंडम नंबर है ना, तो ऑब्वियसली आई एम नॉट अ टेकी टेकी, बट अगर टेक्नोलॉजी परस्पेक्टिव से भी लें तो पर पर्सन का रेट कितना चलता है इन इन कंसल्टेंसी या फिर इन इन जॉब, एंड यहाँ मैं सैलरी ले रहा हूँ एज पर दैट सम कैलकुलेशन, टेकिंग अ रैंडम, डोंट टेक इट इज अ राइट करेक्ट नंबर।
तो आई डोंट नो इफ दैट वुड वर्क। अगर हम सिर्फ इस तरीके से मैथमेटिकली इसको देखेंगे, तो एक एंड कस्टमर क्यों मेरे पास आए अगर
क्योंकि
सिर्फ
उसे
उसको
सस्ते में
लोग ही
सर्विस
देखें?
प्रोवाइड करा रहा हूँ, क्योंकि यहाँ सिर्फ लो कॉस्ट की कहानी, बिकॉज दिस नाउ बिकम a commodity, right? It is at earlier we were can think of it as not a commodity, but now one kind of technology is a commodity. It's a body shopping, मैं A से लूं या B से लूं, मेरे को ऑलमोस्ट सिमिलर टाइप ऑफ स्किल सेट मिल रहा है, एक तरफ से कम कॉस्ट, एक तरफ से ज्यादा कॉस्ट, दैट्स इट।
देखो, अगर कोई कमोडिटी इजीली एक्सेसिबल है, तो वहां प्रॉफिट मार्जिन ज्यादा नहीं। तो इमेजिन जो 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 थॉट लेकर एक एंटरप्रेन्योर स्टार्ट कर रहा है कि भाई मैं एक जॉब कर रहा हूँ, मैं सेम काम की अपनी कंपनी कर लेता हूँ, 3 एम्प्लॉय रख लेता हूँ, तो ये थॉट तो उन 3 एम्प्लॉयज में भी आएगा।
आएगा।
है
हाँ,
ना?
बिल्कुल।
एक से दो बनी, 2 से 6 बनेंगी, 6 से 18 बनेंगी। अब कितने कस्टमर्स हैं भाई? तो फिर कितना कितना थिन मार्जिन करोगे? तो 50 लाख की जो सैलरी मिल रही थी, वो शायद अपना बिजनेस करने पे 10 लाख भी ना मिले। तो आई डोंट नो अबाउट दैट पर्टिकुलर पर्सपेक्ट। Definitely, I was more talking about the niche areas कि अगर अगर बिग फैक्ट रेवेन्यू या इम्पैक्ट चाहिए, जैसे मैं बताऊं कि we had crossed 10 million annual revenue when we were probably 50 employees. So we were so powerful, and it took us probably 6 years to become 50 employees. Why this was so slow? Because we were not relying on inorganic growth. We were not utilized. हमारा तो कई एम्प्लॉइज तो आके कहते थे कि ना तो आपका लिंक्डइन है, ना आपका ढंग से फेसबुक अकाउंट है, ना कोई, बट द वे वी यूज टू वर्क was working for the company. Now at the when we are 180 or 190 people, now the same way of working is no longer sustainable. Now a system needs to be in place, a sales team needs to be different, marketing team needs to be different, technology different, consulting different. The way, so that further,
Bring it more
because
system.
yeah, now not always all partners can be salesperson, every project executors. It has to get out.
Starting an organization from scratch, running it for 13 years, and then exiting it. How difficult is detaching yourself from that organization?
Very good point. It depends from person to person, and I can talk of for myself. Um, I am fortunate that I had 100% kind of detachment,
Wow.
and it was again by design. I was, and the company was acquired by a P firm. Um, I was in the front seat from the India side, and I was my attempt was to ensure that the India uh, team is secure. India interests are being taken care, right? Um, and that exposed a lot about me. That I'm not a uh, I was a hands-on. I did anything and everything from scratch, right? And what I found that my way of working is different. I'm a decision maker. I'm an executor, and that's how I have been. Now, when a PE firm acquires or a big firm acquires, they certainly want to run the company in their own way,
Yeah.
right? Now, I have two choices: either to align myself with the way they want, or detach, get out, think about it, and let's search out if I can add more value to something else in my original manner of working, thinking, doing. So, and I found the second option was a better option. So I had no regret. I had no second thought, just to opt for getting out.
Honestly, I was thinking other way around. It's a very nice thought process. It showcases the clarity of that thoughts that you come up with, Pushpin. Uh, Bringing in PE and PE buying the organization or acquiring it, was that due to the organization need more cash, which doesn't look like because you're saying you're always revenue high and cost, or was it because of the partners or the co-founders decided that now is the time to move on?
Good. So you remember that four stages?
Yeah.
Now, when the company is in the third stage,
Politics.
at the most vulnerable stage, you have a lot of money in the company. When you don't have the money, you don't have the problems. Problems comes when you have a lot of money, right? Because you want more money.
Absolutely.
Right? We were a cash rich company. We never needed money. They wanted us to acquire us. We ignored their email three times. It was the fourth email when we said, okay, let's explore what these guys are saying. And when they said we will acquire you on that value, we were like, what? Do we value that much? Okay. So, and once you have that big number in front of you, everyone's priority changes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody who is at the age of 60 plus, he sees it's a golden opportunity for me to get retired.
Absolutely.
For a person like me who is in the early 40s is worried. Okay, I would have a lot of money, but what would I do?
What will I do?
These are extreme kind of reactions to an opportunity coming in front of you, and then the negotiation starts. Right? So I won't say we needed money. That's why we went to this PE firm. It was like somebody came forward, offered something which um, which exposed individuals' preferences or reaction to that offer, and outcome could be one: either sell or not sell. Right? People who didn't want to sell had to accept this way or that. But so it was a group decision to just move forward and make it done.
अब थोड़ा पर्सनल लाइफ पे आते हैं. 13 साल लगा दिए, कंपनी खड़ी कर दी, कंपनी से एग्जिट ले लिया. डू यू सी यू एवर मिस्ड आउट ऑन बैलेंसिंग द वर्क लाइफ? आई नो वी वर जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट business is a job, job is a business, right? But still, when I say work life, I want to include two parts. It is Finvarta channel, so we talk about money and finance. So I'll refer to, when you say work life balance, one, the time with family, the investment to the family, and two, your own investments.
You know, I don't know how to describe it, but I find myself very lucky in that sense. I born and brought up in Delhi. You know that my office, this company got in Delhi. My we were we had been living in a joint family. We are still living in the joint family. My wife is a central government employee, very good audit officer. So I had anything and everything. My friends are in Delhi. They were just a call away. So I would say it gave me enough flexibility. I think what I did not take care of कि मैंने खुद को समय नहीं दिया, अपनी हेल्थ को कभी सीरियसली नहीं लिया. द बॉडी इज सिग्नलिंग कि भैया ओवरडू हो रहा है, खाना पीना गड़बड़ हो रहा है. My emotions were more from my office or from my family. Right? My priorities were roaming around all these items. What was ignored was myself, and I had to pay a price. Of course, once you ignore these things, then uh, sooner or later they make themselves priority.
It will make itself a priority.
Right.
And then other things pause completely.
Right, exactly. So, but I would say I'm still very, I find myself very lucky कि मैं अभी early 40s में हूँ. मैं कंपनी से एग्जिट हूँ. मुझे ये एक्सपीरियंस है कि अपने आप को समय ना देने की कॉस्ट क्या होती है. मैंने वो फेज देखा है. हेल्पलेसनेस यू फील इन दैट फेज, वो मैंने एक्सपीरियंस किया है. उसकी प्रायोरिटी कितनी ऊपर है, ये मैंने महसूस किया है. एंड आई एम committing myself to recover and always keep that as one of the priority. और अभी एक है मेरे पास समय probably instinct number 2 खेलने का और कुछ करने का, but I think this learning is at the very right time for very many years to come.
Now, coming to your own wealth, absolutely fine. If you can reveal it, perfectly fine. If you don't want to reveal it, perfectly fine. If you can share in a percentage term that how you have allocated that money, in equity, in debt, in real estate, in another startup, if you are an angel investor, if you can share some ideas around it.
My allocation very conservative. I'm traveling from a safe investor to moderately risk towards high risk. That's how I'm growing. My new organization, the new setup I have done is all about capital market. So you can imagine where I'm moving towards. It's called Satva Capital. That's that, and this is purely into investment form into the capital markets. So that's where I'm building it. But as on today, actually, I'm struggling to answer your question because I'm in a transition phase. 1 year earlier, my allocation was 99% into fixed deposits, 1% into market.
Wow. I was expecting I was expecting some conservative approach because the way you were talking about the money. But wow, so 1%, is it in debt or is it still in equity?
That's in equity. That's in equity. I did not like the mutual fund concepts. I simply went ahead with it. But that was 1 year old story. Right now, I'm probably 70% conservative investment, 30% exposed to equity. So this, so I got capital as a default result of selling my stake. Now, what to do with this capital? That's what my problem.
I'm
Now,
okay. My bank account is fine. I can share.
yeah, I know. Mine is already okay. So, I got pulled with the ideas of PMS, AI, other investment schemes, blah 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 blah. Once your banker knows that your account is
Yeah.
heavy, you got all the advices.
Absolutely.
I already had exposure to equity, that 1%. I knew something, but this forced me to learn more. As I learned more, I found what these guys would be doing with my money. Why can't I do the same thing with my own money? I would be more responsible. I would be more cautious. I improved myself to be more sensitive towards the money. I would be very risky, that guy. So I started building some models. Uh, I start. So this company is all about using our own capital, uh, investing in the market with different strategies, and figuring out what's working. So far, it's working for us.
Good.
Uh, so far, we are more inclined to infuse more money because our trends are very positive. Um, Probably next 3 4 years, we would stick with our own capital to get ourselves mature, and have this company a track record of creating wealth for the shareholders. Um, Probably after that, we would expose our models for other players to use as an investor or as a partners or what.
So as you're talking about Satwa, you're talking about the models, you were talking about the IT system. I was going to say a closing remark, but just one more thought came in mind. And I'm sorry, I know this is stretching a little more, but AI, and you have taken care of 170 plus people in this world. What is your suggestion to the people who are working or who are going to be the new workforce coming out of the college? How do they manage their skill set? How do they manage to ensure the job or whatever they want to do in this world of AI? What is the skill set movement do you see happening in the market?
I would say AI is today's change, major change, but these changes have happened, throughout each phase.
Mhm.
When we got out from the college, the world was changing, right? We have seen pager world to typewriter, to computer, to internet, to everything. So these changes was always there. So this is nothing new. What's new is the speed of it. And today's generation is already at par with that variable. They are over smart. They are changing. They can change relationship in us. What about technology? So they are already matching with the speed.
Hmm.
The speed component is taken care. Now, what is left is the will. Will comes, in my opinion, there are many factors which triggers the will. One is your compulsion. I have to do some job, and what I skills I have, I'm not getting it. So I must learn XYZ skill. That's a will out of compulsion. They would be little behind. There is another will by virtue of your nature. Hey, something is new. I want to learn it. What's this? I want to be a part of this change. It's a proactiveness, willingness. They would be at the front end. So that's how I foresee that things would carry forward. Everybody would find their place. They won't be like kind of hue and cry. US is literally amazing in terms of exploiting or marketing their any new idea in a way that people get worried.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they have done it number of times. This is just another time. There was a meta. Everybody should buy a real estate over there. You won't get this thing, that thing. I don't see meta anymore. There was a blockchain. There was a this cryptocurrency. Things would die off. Everything is going smooth. I think the AI would have the same fate. It's a new thing. Society must accept it. But the way it is being presented as a disruptive, as a negative, no, it's going to add value. We just need to accept.
लास्ट क्वेश्चन से खत्म करते हैं और वो क्वेश्चन है खुश हो कोई कुछ स्टार्ट करता है कंटिन्यू करता है और बाद में जाके कई बार रियलाइज होता है यार वो तो नहीं मिला जो सोच रहा था एंड दैट इज अ बिग चैलेंज फॉर लॉट मेनी पीपल whom I meet. They many times says that I'm not happy. If you ask me I'm happy, no I'm happy, no I'm not happy. If you ask me I was somewhere, I reached somewhere, answer is yes, I reached somewhere. So the same question with which I would like to end with you. Are you happy?
I am happy. I find myself very lucky. And if I complain, it it would be very annoying to the Almighty. I find myself blessed that I have no reasons to complain. By nature, we would complain. By nature, I would say this is not good, that is not good. ये हो जाता तो और अच्छा होता, वो हो जाता. I'm just calling all those things as a noise. वो होगा मेरे मुंह से भी सुनोगे कि यार आज अच्छा नहीं है यार वो होता तो बेटर था यार ऐसे करते तो वो बढ़िया था. But those are just instant reactions to some thoughts. But if I look at the larger picture, I am in a very good position, good situation. I'm blessed. I have no reasons to not have. Not have. I don't know about tomorrow or today. I'm happy.